Of course. Below is the rewritten version of your story, staying faithful to the original outline, preserving the context and plot while crafting a compelling, natural American English narrative limited to approximately 7,500 characters, with new character names, a dramatic tone, and no section breaks or YouTube mentions. They tell you what the dream looks like. You know, the one charming suburban home, manicured lawn, neighbors who smile when they pass. I believed in it. Worked for it. Thought I'd made it. My name is Marcus Reed. I designed the digital infrastructure that keeps major corporations running. My wife, Alana, is a pediatric nurse. For years, we pinched every penny, slugged through mortgage bureaucracy, and finally landed our forever homey white colonial on a quiet cul-de-sac in a town that felt safe. At first glance, everything was perfect. A big backyard. Room for the dog we hadn't adopted yet. And, aside from being the only black family on the block, we felt hopeful. Maybe naive, but hopeful. The neighbors seemed friendly enough, even if a few took an extra beat before waving back. Then there was her. Lorraine Hoverston. Late 60s. Helmet of bleached hair, pastel tracksuits like she was hiding out from an indictment in Boca. She lived next door in a sterile beige house, flanked by an army of garden gnomes. She also happened to be president of the HOA, title she clung to like it made her royalty. The day she greeted us, she handed me a welcome basket with a single muffin and a 3-inch thick binder of HOA bylaws. "We have very high standards here," she said without smiling. Not a welcome. A warning. I remember thinking, okay, she's uptight, but manageable. I could be the bigger person. I didn't realize I was walking into a war zone with nothing but politeness as armor. It started small. Paper cuts. Notices about grass height. One Saturday, Lorraine appeared with a clipboard and said, "Your lawn is a 1/4 inch over the regulation." I laughed, thought she was joking. She wasn't. I lowered my mower blade. Then came letters about our garbage cans being at the curb an hour too early. Then the flowers in my wife's garden were not an approved perennial. Our daughter's chalk drawings. Unpermitted markings. Her son, Brent the so-called prince, lived in her basement. More Copton neighborhood Gestapo. Always in tactical pants and sunglasses, like he was auditioning for SWAT. He'd patrol the sidewalk like we were the threat. We kept the peace. I swallowed it all. I told myself it was about rules, not race. But I was wrong. It all exploded on the 4th of July. I'd planned the party for weeks: burgers, hot dogs, Motown playlist, Uncle Sam float in the pool. 30 guests. Family, friends, neighbors. For once, I felt proud. It was the American dream in full swing. Then, around 4 p.m., Brent started pacing the property line like he was preparing for combat. At 4:30, the Queen herself stormed into our yard, trembling finger pointed at me. "What is the meaning of this?" she screeched. "This is a residential area, not a carnival." I tried to calm her, hands up, spatula in hand. "Ma'am, it's the 4th. We are having a family gathering. You people think you can just ignore the rules," she yelled, in front of everyone. There it was. The quiet part, spoken loud. My wife told her to leave. Lorraine pulled out her phone and dialed 911, voice trembling as she lied, "He's aggressive. Threatening. I'm scared." The police came. 2 white officers, bored but present. They asked me to keep it down. Not her. Me. The woman who had trespassed yelled at my family and made a false police report. The party fizzled out. My son asked, "Did we do something bad?" My heart shattered. Then came the real storm. That night, 2 black SUVs screeched into our street. A SWAT team spilled out, rifles raised. "Come out with your hands up." Red dots danced across our windows. My wife grabbed the kids. I stepped onto the porch, hands high. They tackled me. Slammed me down. Cuffed me. My kids watched from the window, crying. I saw Lorraine watching too, a red smear of fake blood on her sleeve, clutching her arm in mock agony. "That's him," she screamed. "He attacked me. I hadn't left my house. I didn't own a gun." Her son backed her lie, claiming I charged like a wild animal. At the station, I was charged with assault and making a terroristic threat. Bail, $50,000. We drained our savings. My lawyer, Monique Evans, was sharp and furious. "They have no evidence," she said. "But they have 2 white witnesses. That's their case." Our neighbors stopped waving. Some avoided eye contact altogether. The HOA fined us for unbecoming conduct. My son started having nightmares. My daughter went quiet. Alona cried when I left the house. But I wasn't going anywhere. Not anymore. I read that HOA binder cover to cover. Found all the rules Lorraine had broken. Discovered $40,000 paid annually to a landscaping company that didn't exist. Found that the HOA was paying Brent Brent $1,500 a month in security consultation. The treasurer signing off. Lorraine's husband. The scam was blatant. I went door to door, armed with spreadsheets and truth. I told them everything. At the annual HOA meeting, every household showed up. I stood up and laid it all out. Charts. Invoices. Fake companies. A $30,000 sewer repair that was never needed. When I was done, 2 officers who I had called in advance walked in. "Come." Measured. And this time, for her. They arrested Lorraine and Brent on the spot. Charges: embezzlement, wire fraud, conspiracy. All charges against me were dropped. A year later, she was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Brent got 5 years probation. Her husband. Suspended sentence. The dream had cracked, but we were rebuilding. But Lorraine wasn't done. From prison, she filed a civil lawsuit for defamation. It was absurd but costly. Then came the anonymous online post, "Beware, violent felon in Northwood Estates." It described me to AT without naming me. Called me dangerous. Said I worked in tech and had access to sensitive data. My wife deleted her social media. We lived in fear again. And then the knockout blow. 2 CPS workers showed up at our door. Anonymous tip. Claims of child neglect. That my children feared me. They questioned my kids. Alone. In our own living room. My wife sobbed. My son wouldn't look me in the eye. I called Monique again. "I want to end this," I said. "I want her buried in the system she used against us." We subpoenaed prison phone logs. And we found it, Lorraine coaching Brent. Say the dad is angry. Say the kids seem scared. Don't use your real name. Her voice, clear and cold. We played it for the DA. For CPS. The case was dropped. New charges were filed. Brent's probation was revoked. He's in prison now. Lorraine got 5 more years added to her sentence. I watched her walk out of the courtroom in cuffs, surrounded by the very system she once weaponized. Not with rage, but with peace. A peace I earned. A peace I defended. And a warning: the American dream is not something you're handed. You fight for it. You bleed for it. And when someone tries to tear it from you, you make damn sure they regret ever trying.